good, everybody? And today we're gonna be going through the 2.7 patch notes. Yes, they dropped them, and we're gonna go through them. I'm gonna be honest, this is probably one of the shortest patch notes I have ever seen. I'm literally not kidding. This is the short, look, bro, this is the shortest patch notes I think I've seen for Wuwa thus far, which is crazy for a concluding chapter for 2.7. But we're gonna go through it anyway and give some thoughts. Kuro has taken this new approach to splitting up quests. I feel like they tried it out in, what was it, 2.4? Then we had 2.5, and they tried it again for 2.6. People seem to really like it. People seem to really like splitting up the story into two halves. So we're getting chapter 2 act 10, the bygone shall always return, and then we have chapter 2 act 11, dawn breaks on dark tide. So we're getting two. I feel like this also means they're able to tell more story, right? Instead of having just like a 2-hour quest, that you could they actually make them like big. They're making them big, they're expanding them out, maybe like 4 hours in total, or between 4 and 6 hours, right, altogether, for both the halves. So they're able to tell a bit more story, and I hope that, hey, they didn't show much in the trailer. I say they didn't show much. They definitely spoiled some stuff, right? Falova's coming back, Scar's coming back. You know, I feel like we didn't need to have to see that in the trailer. I feel like they're doing that for like hype reasons. I've kind of had this opinion of like, the people who are done with the Renacita quest and don't like it won't play, but the people who are invested will be playing regardless. So they didn't have to, I think, hype that up. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. They could have like waited until people played the game or the patch quest, because yeah, people who are already invested in the story are going to play regardless of what they show. So I don't know if they needed to do that. But hey, but I also know equally there are people who complained that there wasn't enough in the trailer to be excited by. You know, I feel like we often complain, like with Hoyoverse games, that like, oh, they spoil too much in the story and the trailers and the live stream talking about it. It's like, yeah, they spoil too much when they like talk about it after the trailer. But I understand why people might want a bit more of an interesting trailer. But hey, I don't know. We're getting a Avengers Assemble a moment probably. It's gonna be cool. I'm not gonna, honestly, I just don't care. I just don't care. Whatever happens, and I'll just take it. I'm just here for the story right now. I'm gonna be honest. So I'll always just be there for the story. And then we have the after story, A Stranger in a Strange Land, which I feel it's gonna be Chiwen in Septimon, or is it gonna be him in Huanglong? I don't know, but that's gonna be interesting. Of what will happen to Chiwen. I'm looking forward to him a lot. I ain't gonna lie, he's gonna be very cool. New echoes, Verdblasaurian, we got a baby Roshroom and a Verdblasaurian. Yippee! And of course, we have a new Echo set, a new Sonata set, which is basically, this is all for Galbraina. And this is just a Galbraina set. It's just made for her. Another 3-piece, another nest, probably. 3-piece set, dealing Echo skill damage, increases heavy attack crit rate by 20% for 6 seconds. Dealing heavy attack damage, increases Echo skill crit rate by 20% for 6 seconds. While both effects are active, gain 16% fusion damage bonus. Yes, ma'ams and sirs. I'm wondering if we're going to be able to use Morphe during this again, buffing. Morphe getting like a lot of screen time recently in teams with the release of oh my god, with the release of Augusta. With the release of Augusta, we have, you know, obviously Yuno's around, and now we're having another heavy attacker in Galbraina. Morphe's probably gonna get a lot more uptime. I wonder if Yuno's gonna work with Galbraina. Probably, maybe not, but it'd be interesting. Galbraina, Morphe, Brant, yeah, and Brant as well. Like, goddamn, the Galbraina, Morphe, Brant team will go kind of crazy for this one. But I don't know. Hey, basically every time there is a new Sonata set, it's just for the next character. That's kind of how it feels. Tactical hologram challenge, Lioness of Glory. I saw in the trailer. Right, we saw in the trailer with the new hologram. That bitch is basically in the air most of the time. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? Yeah, that hologram is basically in the air the entire time. But we're cooked. Bro, ground enemies, Camellias, your Geons, brother. People complained about, you know, Lampy Lumen and TOA jumping around all over the place, not being able to hit it. I wonder if we're gonna experience the same thing with this character right now. This enemy. It's gonna be something. I don't know. This character's in the air a lot. We'll see what happens. It's a bit like Fallacy, a little bit. I don't. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass. Maybe I'm absolutely talking out of my ass, but we'll see. You guys know I love like bashing my head against a wall for like 10 minutes. You can counter the spear she throws at you. To be fair, that's true. We'll see if that works in hologram. We'll see if that works. Optimizations. Resonator Ascension Planner. Yeah, so essentially they released the Honkai Star Rail sort of planning system where you can be like, here's a character I want to build. Here's Rover. Here's Augusta. Here's Galbraina. How many Ascension materials do I need? How many weapon mats do I need? And they'll tell you, and it's very easy, and it's a W, honestly. Anything that makes the player experience smoother and easier is a W. No need to go on another website to find how many things you need to farm. No, you could do that right from the character menu. That's kind of a W. Love that. Better quest experience. The journey log feature will be added to the quest system. Journey log allows you to view all main quests chapters, with each chapter divided into different acts. In future updates, journey log will incorporate other quest types. I feel what I want is for you to replace cinematics. Just from a content standpoint, I've had to make a new account so I could record some like footage of the game cutscenes from the beginning. I don't want to have to do that and play through the whole game again. I would just love a way of just being able to recall things on demand. Please give us replay cutscenes. Let us download them, something like that would make my life so much easier. That's kind of what I want. UI upgrade and new features. The event menu will be upgraded. Events will be divided into 3 categories. Yeah, we've seen this. Yeah, we saw this in the live stream where like the event screen actually looks a little bit different, and you know, fair play. I don't think it's a huge deal. I think they needed it because if you're looking game right, oh my god, holy feet, woman. This is kind of how it looks right now, and it's kind of hard to tell what is what. Oh, there's a hologram. These are the permanent stuff. Everything at the bottom is like permanent, right? There's the claim gifts, there's the thing, hologram, fantasies, whimpering waste. Like all of these here at the bottom are permanent things, and here's the more like limited stuff. But like that's not always entirely obvious, right? That's not entirely obvious, people. So having it like actually separated out so you can like, what is it that I need? It's just nice UI. I've never been the biggest fan of Wuwa's UI. I feel like it's so much wasted space. I actually think they could increase the size of this by like 70%. I'm not kidding you. Because a lot of this is wasted space, IMO. Increases by 70% and have the choice at the top. Rather than at the side that they're proposing. Have it at the top. Increases by 70%. It would just be nicer to deal with. You're not showing Wuwa by the... Oh, I'm not showing it? Oh. You know what? I'll just display my screen. I was sorry. I thought I was displaying my screen. All this here, the event stuff, they could increase the size by like 70% here. And have the bar across the top instead. I feel that would equally be better. But as we all know, like all the stuff, the permanent stuff they put down like at the bottom here. But people don't always know that. And it can be confusing, I guess. So it makes sense to have a separate system to click on all the events. But I feel like a top bar would also be fine. But yeah, increase this by 70%. Top bar, easy, bang, bish bash bosh, done. Yeah, also we get new echo terminals. Again, cool, I guess. Environmental interactions, global filter will be made available across all platforms. The eye comfort options, blah 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 blah, and more skills interacting with the environment. Bro, when I heard that, when I thought of this, bro, this is what I thought of when I saw the Wuwa. Your characters interact with the environment. This is literally what I thought. Bro, this is bro, this is the video that came to mind. This is me in the new Wuwa update. Guys, this is me in the new Wuwa update. We're gonna be airbending like crazy, dude. This is me pressing all of Yang Yang's abilities at once. This is me being John Shin, bro. This is how I be feeling. This is how I be feeling in Wuwa, how Wuwa gets me. I think the John Shin does that. I know it's hilarious. But basically, that's that's the environmental updates in Wua for you summarized. So that's a good one. That's a really good one. Lovely artwork, very pretty. I wish it was higher quality and I could make it like a home screen. That's what I wish. New resonators. Here's the juicy stuff, right? Here's the actual juicy stuff. Galbraina and Chiwen. Yippee. She'd be in phase 1 along with Lupa, which is really interesting. Lupa is going to be a really interesting pick for people. I'm actually surprised that they rerun her so early. I actually think that's a W from Kuro to rerun her so quickly. Obviously, I have Lupa here. She looks awesome. She is our fusion character. Of course, we see all her combat roles here. And her weapon, bro. Her weapon looks so fucking good. I think it's one of the best looking weapons in the game. I do. I say that. Her and Augusta's weapons are just kind of like goddamn peak. I mean, look at it. Look at it. It looks like it's literally a wildfire sword. It's called wildfire, but bro, it's so awesome. It's like living fire. I mean, how could you not pull for this? Like, how could you not? Obviously, we have her here. Resist liberation damage, fusion damage amplification, and basic attack damage amplification. Okay, wait, they list her as a main damage dealer? Okay, that's very funny. That's what we have for Lupa. But I think it's really interesting they're pairing with Galbraina. I'm wondering what a Lupa Galbraina team might look like. What that's gonna end up doing with Lupa Galbraina. Does bro have VTube Studio open out of habit? No, I had my VTuber on earlier when I had a misinput. A nuclear misinput. So that's gonna be fun. Obviously Lupa is she's a very interesting character. Look at her outro here. The incoming resonator will have their fusion damage amplified by 20% and basic attack damage amplified by 25% for 14 seconds or until the resonator is switched out. So if you're using Lupa with Galbraina, at least you're gonna get like a fusion damage amplification, but she's not gonna really benefit from any sort of basic attack amplification. So using Galbraina and Lupa is going to be an interesting combo, but I don't think that's something people are going to be going for. But hey, if you're someone who missed out on picking up Lupa and you have a Branchang Li lying around and maybe you skipped her, I know a lot of people did. Maybe it's the time you're going to pick her up, or maybe you're going to go for something completely different. Go for a different fusion option and go for Galbraina instead, which would be pretty interesting. In which case, Mortifi might be a character that will apply for you better, right? Mortifi might be better for you because, as we know, Mortifi is right now a 4-star that has risen up the ranks. Okay, initially he was just a character that was reserved for Gion and his heavy attacks, right? But now, my god, Mortifi is getting a lot of use. For example, Mortifi Augusta is an extremely viable team that does amazingly high performing damage. Like, you don't even need in this like lineup, right? Just Mortifi and Augusta alone, and an S6 Mortifi to be specific. This outro, obviously, the incoming resonator gains 38% heavy attack damage amplification for 14 seconds or until they are switched out. 38% heavy attack damage amplification is ludicrous, okay? Absolutely ludicrous. And hey, how could you say no? How could you say no? How could you say no to that? Obviously, we have also, or is it we have also? 100% aero damage. The incoming resonator gains 50% heavy attack damage amplification for 14 seconds. This effect ends early if they are switched off the field. Casting outro skill will interrupt heavy to absolute fullness, and the outro skill effect still applies. So obviously, is the more premium option in that case by what, 12%? It's a 12% difference of heavy attack amplification. Obviously, that's for 14 seconds. And how much is Mortifi's? How much is Mortifi's? That was also for 14 seconds. So is the slightly more premium option, but Mortifi's still doing like a lot. Like, there's no reason. Hey, it's one of those things where like if you don't have Mortifi's still going to be totally fine. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that pairs out between both of them. But don't feel as though that you need to get Lupa to pull for Galbraina. The only thing you're getting is a bit of fusion attack bonus on that aspect. So like, don't feel as though you have to do that. Essex Mortifi gets 20% attack. Well, there we go. That's another base mark for Mortifi if he also gets attack as well. So don't feel as though that you have to get both Lupa and Galbraina. They're not necessarily going to work together, really. And then we have Chiwen. Oh, the boy. Oh, the boy, we have Chiwen. I don't really know much about his kit or what he's going to do, so I can't really speak much on who might pair with him, but we do know he is a sword user, which is interesting, and there are a lot of sword options for people to choose from. So we can have a conversation about that a little bit later when we know a little bit more about him. But more interestingly, we have Zanny on phase 2. Listen, I'm a little bit of a Zanny Doom poster, I'm not gonna lie. I see 0 point in people pulling for Zanny unless you already have Peeb, or you're going to pull for Peeb. Zanny is one of these characters that I don't know why Kuro decided to build her the way they did. I genuinely really don't know why. Like, I don't know why she was a character they thought would be a good idea to fucking make in a design philosophy they thought would be good to make, because she needs Spectrofrazzle to work. She cannot generate it herself. She needs other people to do it, and there's only 2 fucking characters that can do it, and one of those I wouldn't recommend to fucking anybody to do. Could you do it? Could you run Spectro, Rover, and Zanny? Yes, you can. But do I recommend it? No, I don't. I don't recommend doing it. I don't think it's fun, especially in the current TOAs. The more harder TOAs where like you really have to be on the ball with everything. It's just not worth the fucking hassle. It really is not worth the hassle. So unless you already have Peeb, or you're planning to pull for Peeb for whatever reason, then get Zanny. I will not recommend in a million years anyone ever get Zanny unless you're doing that. I genuinely think she is the worst pull value, some of the worst pull value apart from Yinlin of any fucking character ever. I never use her. I thought she was cool for a minute, but then I thought about it and then it's like, why bother? Why am I bothering this? What about Chikona? Bro, you generate Frazzle. Where's Zanny getting her heavy attack damage from? You're gonna use Chikona and then what? Your Zanny's gonna do what damage with what heavy attack amplification? With what heavy damage? With what, like, I don't know, bro. Zanny, Yuno, and Chikona? Okay, you know, hey, fine. If you want 3 premium units, go ahead. If you want Yuno, Chikona, and Zanny together with Chikona's gonna hit Spectro Frazzle, fine. Fine, try it. See if I can. Try, hey, maybe you'll get around with it like that, but Zanny's just really not a character that I recommend unless you pull for every character, you have every sig, or you're going to pull for Peeb. I just really don't recommend it. She's cool as fuck, but unless you want to smash your head against the keyboard trying to learn Spectro, Rover, and Zanny, I just really don't. Listen, my Zanny, I do like my Zanny when I play her with Peeb. This is the thing, right? I do. I enjoy using my Zanny when I play with my Peeb. That sounds really sus. But it's just not something I could recommend to someone who isn't pulling. If you're not pulling for her sig, if you're not pulling for Peeb, you're not pulling for other Peebs. Like, it's just, I just don't really recommend it. Deal spectral damage, blah, 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 blah. Increase damage multiplied by 255%. Silent prayer to the resonator of the field, reducing spectral resistance of near to 10%. Granted 100% spectro frazzle damage amplification. When spectro frazzles inflicts damage, extends spectro frazzle damage by 50% for last 30 PV, which is the absolution status. I just really, Zanny's just, I don't even have these done. Oh my god, I just don't recommend it. She's annoying to use in holograms too. And like Zanny's like animations are just so long, it could just get kind of annoying. I don't know. I just don't see the value. I just really don't see it. And Peeb's a similar boat where it's like, I wouldn't recommend pulling Peeb for like as a DPS. Because she's frustrating to use in like holograms, for example. But if you're using Peeb and Zanny, fine. That's like better, I guess. But even then it's like, these are just 2 characters that are very codependent on each other, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Hey, dislike people. The Zanny Peeb lovers will probably dislike this fucking video. I don't care. I'm right. That's it. That's all I have to say. New weapons. Yippee! We have Lux and Umbra, which is, bro, these weapons look so fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's like Devil and Angel. Bro, she's so Nero coded. It's so great. And Emerald Sentence. Yippee, yay. And also we have like all the weapons. Again, we're gonna need to see more details on what the weapons are actually going to be like. But we have like Lupa's weapon, for example. Increases attack by 12%, performing intra skill resistance liberation, increases resistance liberation damage by 24% for 6 seconds. Dealing heavy attack damage extends this effect by 4 seconds up to 1 time. Each successful extension gives 24% fusion damage bonus to all resonators in the team for 30 seconds. Effects of the team name, same name, cannot be stacked. So if you're using Lupa's weapon, 24% fusion damage bonus to all rest of the team. So it's like 24 plus like what? 24 plus like got 25 plus 20%. We're getting like a 46% like fusion damage with her weapon. Fusion, well, one's amplification and one's fusion damage bonus. It's not really the same thing. Fusion damage amplified, and then you've got a bonus. But you got a weapon fusion. I don't know. I still don't think it's gonna be a thing people use. Maybe someone will try it out. Hey, maybe someone will try it out. I'll Lupa Galbrainer combo and see if Galbrainer really likes the fusion damage. I mean, why try it out? I guess. And then we have obviously Emerald Sentence and Zanny's weapon. And like, listen, Zanny's weapon, like, again, if you're getting Zanny, you have to get, I feel not you have to, but her Sig's just like a good choice. Casting basic attack grants the following effects: dealing damage deals 8% of the target's death, and amplifies spectral frazzle damage dealt by 50% for 6 seconds. Re-triggering the effect resets its duration. It's just a good weapon. It's just a good weapon to have. And obviously then we have the special events. We have a combat event, which is like a top-down. They're calling it a cop-down. They're calling it a top-down event, but it feels like a cop-out event of a combat event is what I'm really trying to say. Because it feels like a mini-game rather than a combat event. It's a mini-game disguised as a combat event. And I feel like that's not what people want when they say they want combat events. They want things like Crisis Trials. You know, that's Banners Never Fall. Like, those are the type of events that people want. This is not this is not a combat event. This is a mini game disguised as a combat event, and I think it's kind of a little bit disingenuous to call it such. Besides, interesting. I'm gonna put that in my survey for sure, 100%. 7-day login event as usual. Gifts of Ink Song, which is again another, it's in 2 parts. One of these gives like Asterites and like 2 pulls, and the other is like standard pulls mixed in with some, you know, limited ones. Freeze frame action highlights combat photography event. Guys, it's not a combat event. Again, wooer. It's not a combat event. It's a photo event where you might have to do a tiny bit of combat to press skills in order to press a camera button. It's not a combat event. Can we stop deluding ourselves? Guys, look, the wooer did have combat events. Look, there's 2 of them. It's not a fucking combat event. It's barely an event. I'm just going to be honest. It's barely an event. Honestly, the freeze frame thing should be available in the camera option on its own, right? Like, being able to like slow-mo through skills and take like a freeze frame should be in the game anyway for a camera option. I promise you the content from it would be awesome. So maybe we could do that. That'd be cool. Featured platforming events. Septimont weather forecast. Okay. And a Lolo campaign. Okay, I mean, that's how it be. And some merch and figures, and that's really it. Yeah, this is one of the smallest patches I think we've seen for Wuwa, which is, it's supposed to be like a finale, like a Rinascita finale thing, and this is what we're getting. It's like, I can understand why some people will be disappointed. Like, I'm not going to blame anyone for feeling a bit let down for it. I'm going to be honest. Like, I get it. But, I'm just excited for the story. I'm excited for the story. That's really it. I'm going to be honest. Hopefully 3.0 will pick up again. I might take a break after 2.7. Without the story, without the story, this is the worst patch they've ever done. Oh yeah, without the story, this is the worst patch they've ever done. I'm probably going to take a break after 2.7, and I'll skip 2.8, and I will come back and play everything a week before like 3.0 or whatever they decide to do. But yeah, I understand, kind of rough, but we'll see. Hopefully the story's good. So that's that's the patch notes. That's the patch notes I get. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate y'all. I go live almost every single day on Twitch and Kick, and soon to be every day on YouTube. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Yeah, subscribe right now to get 3 inches added to your cock.
Twitch.tv/Captain Cabinetz, Captain Cabinetz.